Okay, so hi everyone. I thought that it would be appropriate for me to tell stories about how my sister tortured me for pretty much 18 years since we're all at home with our siblings and it's probably just a lot more time with them that we do not need. So I thought it would be fun to tell these stories. But okay, so the first story was whenever I was about the age of I think 9. My sister is 6 years older than me. So she always used to babysit me whenever I was younger. So this was another day of her babysitting me. Her name's Brianna, by the way. And so she was babysitting me and we were pretty much just watching a movie together. Everything was fine. Everything was going great. And my sister went into the kitchen for a really long time and she was cooking something in the microwave. And obviously I didn't think much of it at the time. I just thought, okay, maybe she's making us popcorn like a nice, loving sister would do. But no, this was not the case. She came back into the living room with melted chocolate on her hands. And she told me, and I believed it too, this is the worst part, and she told me that it was poop. And she started chasing me around the house with poop, fake poop on her hands. And of course I was running away, and I did legitimately think it was poop, because also my sister is disgusting. So, you know, it's not a stretch. But anyway, so she's chasing me around the house with fake poop on her hands, and I sprint upstairs, like full speed. And I go into my parents' room, and my parents' room, it was the bed, and then it had like a bunch of blankets along the side of the bed for the dog to sleep on. And then it had the nightstand. So I thought that it would be a good idea for me to just jump in like Superman into the pile of blankets, and whenever I jumped, I smacked my upper lip on the dresser. So of course I'm gushing blood and everything's absolutely absurd, everything's crazy, and I'm gushing blood, and my sister, I was crying and I was like, Brianna, like what do I do? Like please help me, like I need like a band-aid or help my face, please. And I'm bawling, and my sister looked at me and she said, if you tell mom, I'm going to kill you. So of course now I'm terrified for two reasons, because my face is gushing blood and I've never ever I've always been terrified of blood. I've always hated it. So I'm really, really scared. Also, I'm pretty dramatic. I'm also 9. So everything about it, the situation is just terrible. And my sister comes home, or my mom comes home, and of course she sees the blood all over my face. And because she came home early, she came home right after the incident happened, thank God. And she came home and she saw the blood on my face, and she looked at my sister and she said, what happened? And my sister starts crying and tells my mom about what she did to me in tears. And then somehow we both get in trouble. So that is just so typical. So I thought you guys would like that story, but I'll tell the next one of my sister torturing me. So the next one is, we were at a restaurant, and pretty much everybody in my family has been a really big part of just Red Lobster in general, just the restaurant in general. Like my mom and my dad met there. My dad was a cook there, and my mom was a waitress there whenever they were younger, and my grandma was a waitress there and then a manager there. So everybody in the family has been like a big part of Red Lobster. And at the time there was not a lot of customers at Red Lobster. It was pretty much just like all the workers that my parents already knew, and just not a lot of people were there. So everybody's very comfortable. My sister's like doing homework at the table, which is like, sometimes we did that because we just knew a lot of people there, so sometimes we just like relax, and like we would bring our homework there and it'd be kind of like a second home to us. But this special time, it was, I think, my mom's birthday. It was a special event for some reason, and I was really upset that my sister was doing homework. I was like, Brianna, like, you know, this is a fun time, please pay attention and have fun with your family. And I was kind of irritating her. Like, I'll be honest, I was pushing her. And I was a little bit older. I was probably like 12 or 13. And my sister was irritating me. And I wanted her to spend time with me. I'm sorry, but I did. And I wanted her to spend time with me, and she wouldn't. She wouldn't pay attention. And I kept irritating her. And she looked at me, she said, Maddie, if you keep touching me, because I was like poking her, you know. And she said, Maddie, if you keep touching me, I'm going to punch you in the face. So I thought it was an empty threat, obviously. She's not going to hit me. Like, I did not believe that. So I kept irritating her, and I kept irritating her. And eventually, she got to the point where she had enough. and she took the pen that was in her hand and she stabbed me in the leg, not once, but twice. So yeah, that was just a fun little story. You know, my mom freaked out, and my sister is obviously clinically insane. She's absolutely insane, and she's psychotic, but it doesn't really stop me from continuing to bother her. And this last story is pretty much me crossing the line. So this is me irritating my sister really bad, and then let me tell the story. So my sister, she just recently was engaged to this man that she didn't really know for that long, but it's okay. Really nice guy. But anyways, so she was engaged to this man, and we were having this big picnic, and they were outside talking. And my mom had cut up a bunch of watermelon, and I thought it'd be really funny if after I ate my piece of watermelon, I took the rind and I chucked it at her face. I just thought it'd be really funny at the time. I thought everybody would laugh, and of course this is not what happened, but anyways. So my mom, like, I ate my watermelon. I was so excited, like it was the perfect plan, and I just peeked my head outside of the sliding glass door, and I saw my sister, and she was probably only like 3 feet away from me, so that speed from the sliding glass door to my actual sister was just intense. And so I threw it as hard as I could, and she looked at me, and she was so angry, so angry that she actually started crying. And my mom pushed me out of the way, and she actually had to hold my sister back from probably murdering me. And I ran down the street, and there was this gigantic bush, and it was as tall as like the houses were. And I hid behind that bush. My mom only said it was 20 minutes that I hid behind the bush, but it felt like 2 hours. And I just hid behind that bush until I felt like it was safe enough to go back into the house. And then whenever I got back into the house, I went in my room, ran there. Of course, all of this is running. And I ran into my room, and I shut the door, and I locked myself in my room for probably an entire day, because I was so terrified that my sister was legitimately going to kill me after I did that to her. So now we're older, and we pretty much still fight the exact same. And I kind of just wanted to tell these stories because I think it's really, obviously it's a time that we're all with our siblings, and we can all kind of relate to just bickering with our siblings. But also, I just think it's a really important detail to note that me and my sister still do fight, and I pretty much feel like I'm still the baby, and I'm the baby of my family. I was the last one born, and I'm the baby of my friend group, and pretty much everybody makes fun of me just as much as my sister does, and I kind of do the same stupid things to my friends that I do to my sister. So the moral of the story is that some things just really don't ever change, and you go about your life in a certain way, and then they just never really change, no matter how old you get. Thank you.